I'm Cost Out Program Director or Head of Enterprise Programs for a major Australian utility. I'm here this morning to speak to you about the Cost Out program that I led in the organisation and the mechanics of how we actually went around doing it. The work we had in front of us was to actually reduce significantly our operating cost base. So through the regulator of Australian utilities, there's a significant drive across all utilities to reduce their operating cost base. We had a target in front of us of thereabouts of 30% reduction. So to that end, we commenced in the early days when we were setting the program up with a tool that was good for us to actually get an understanding of what I'll call the canvas looks like. What it didn't allow to us was to actually do a very strong project management approach. So we had to look around to find how we could actually start to manage in excess of around 300 individual initiatives at the peak of our time. We came across the tool called Focus HQ. We subsequently did our analysis of that tool and we found that it fitted very seamlessly into the very niche area that we were looking at as to how to manage a very broad range and suite of cost out initiatives that we needed to deliver at particular times. I guess we then faced the challenge of implementing that tool, and we went through a standard approach that's used for cost reduction where you go through various gates to get to a point where you can execute and then bank savings. So what I needed from the business was to move swiftly through the different gates to deliver what they had committed to do. I needed the business to commit to those dates, and I needed that commitment to go right through up into the executive level. So I guess my role was to make sure that the moving parts of the organisation were coordinated, and again that's where I needed to rely on the tool Focus HQ to do that, because if not, I didn't have eyes and ears that were in the business. What the business needed from me was sometimes some love and attention, and some other times with some more robust approaches to make sure that projects and initiatives that were to be delivered by certain times were done so, and done so with quality, and also with the outcome of achieving timeframes that we committed to both board and external parties as to where we would be in our journey. To ensure we were able to achieve a successful outcome, we knew very early in the piece that we could not achieve implementing a new robust tool to allow us to enterprise-wide project manage our initiatives and do it ourselves. We have to understand that the program is already in flight. It's been running for quite a few months until we actually made the decision to stand up the tool within the program. And looking to do this work of migration does two things. One is that it needed to happen, however, it's not my key requirement because my main focus is to drive the organisation to get to the cost base. It was nearly something that had to happen, not necessarily in the sidelines because that would be somewhat disrespectful, but it certainly needed to happen in a background sense to the foreground of really driving hard for progress. So to that we formed a view very early that we could try and do it ourselves and we would not have the expertise, and secondly we would not have the focus. And thirdly, it would be distracting people away from what we consider to be the main game. So we relied on the vendors of Focus HQ to actually provide that support. It made imminent sense that if you've got an expert group of people that have actually developed the tool, understand how the tool works, and can provide advice on how best to implement it, there's an element where I can keep a very close eye on that, as I did. As well as our head of EPMO did as well. It was critical that the tool set where they came in. It's pleasing to sit here and say to you that we were successful in what we set out to achieve. Our journey started way back in January 2017 with setting our targets. Those targets were to reduce our sustainable cost base by around 30%. And again, it's very reassuring that an organisation the size of us has been able to deliver that at the same time as maintaining a utility electricity distribution network that is extremely difficult to maintain, especially in peak seasons, as in high bushfire type seasons. So to achieve what we set out to achieve within the deadline we had, to be able to take out thereabouts at 30% of the cost base, but also to do it without any interruption to our BAU is a commendable effort on behalf of our organisation. It's one that the organisation is suitably proud of. Again, the reason that we use Focus HQ was the past record that we've used them in other assignments, the strength and the robustness of the tool, when we actually did quite a detailed assessment of what other tools were out there that we could use. It gave us confidence that as we were going forward, we weren't putting the organisation at a significant risk that wasn't within the way that we operate of top options within the organisation.